Straight ahead on WBKB, Governor Whitmer signs COVID relief funding.
Plus, a new variant of COVID-19 has been discovered in the state, and one local group is helping to tidy things up around Alpena.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart.
And I'm Tyler Cruz. Governor Whitmer signed legislation supporting her COVID-19 relief plan today. The funding includes key provisions of Whitmer's COVID recovery plan sent to the legislature in January. The plan gives direct care workers a $2.25 increase in hourly pay, while including $283 million in rental assistance and $110 million in federal funding for vaccines. Michigan's budget director sent a letter to the state legislature asking for a meeting this week to allocate the remaining $2 billion in federal funding that was left off the table. Senator Jim Stamas, who represents Alpena and Michigan's 36th district, responded to Whitmer's signing, saying he was disappointed the governor chose to keep her absolute power over additional school funding. In a statement, Stamas says, quote, "We have more to do, and I hope the governor will work with us and share her spending plans on how to best invest the remaining federal funds instead of just asking us to give her a blank check."
The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services has identified COVID-19 variant B.1.351 in the state. A child tested positive with the variant Monday in Jackson County. The variant was originally detected in early October of 2020 in South Africa. Cases caused by B.1.351 were first reported in the U.S. at the end of January. This latest variant shares mutations with COVID-19 variant B.1.1.7. The state health department says available COVID-19 vaccines do work against this new variant.
One local organization is starting a spring cleanup in the community, one step at a time. WBKB's Tiffany Maddox tells us more.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Great Lakes Great Responsibility founder Meg Short says her love for the environment around her inspired the founding of the organization.
The mission of Great Lakes Great Responsibility is to really empower and inspire other people to take action on behalf of the Great Lakes.
Short's an Alpena native says last weekend while out, she noticed downtown needed a little sprucing up.
I saw quite a bit of trash accumulating in the ditches or the gutters, and knew it was going to get warm this week and all of that would melt and go down the drains.
So she did what any advocate for her community would do, host a spur-of-the-moment cleanup.
I just put an event on Facebook on Saturday and 17 people showed up.
Collecting trash and other items to make sure the area's drinking water and wildlife stay safe. As the weather warms up, there will be more events for residents to do their part to keep our water viable.
It's up to us to be responsible for their care.
In Alpena, Tiffany Maddox, WBKB News.
And Saturday, volunteers picked up over 4,300 pieces of trash in 45 minutes. Schwartz says that you can look out for more trash pickup events, especially around Earth Day in April. We'll have a link to this story posted on our website. Thank you, Tiffany.
Alpena City Council will return to in-person meetings, but with some restrictions. Beginning Monday, March 15th, in-person meetings will resume. However, council chambers will be limited to 25 people. This includes council members and staff. For those who wish to attend the meetings but can't attend in person, they will be available online. Those attending in person must abide by all health department and City of Alpena mask requirements.
Well, it's a story you hear all too often. A student having goals of pursuing their dreams, but lacking the finances to make them come true. Michigan Works Tuition Assistance Program came through for one student to help her dreams become a reality. Jordan Bull was attending Mid-Community College for medical assisting, but was discouraged because of the fees. She looked into attending Kirtland Community College because it was cheaper and required less time for completion. Michigan Works Marketing Director Alicia Wallace says it was Bull's mom who suggested she look into the Works programs.
Jordan was pretty astonished to find out not only could we help with tuition costs, but we helped her with books. We helped her with the required scrubs, shoes, stethoscope, as well as mileage reimbursement back and forth to classes, some minor auto repairs she needed.
Wallace says Bowl is furthering her education even more as she is currently in Georgia getting her microblading certification. Very good news right there.
That is outstanding news. Well, there is more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, the DNR is reviewing some public land in Alpena.
More on how much rain to expect, how warm it's going to get for Thursday, also how cold it's going to get over the weekend. That's all coming up later in the newscast.
Thanks, Ellie. Warm, cold, rain.
I know.
Sounds like we're going to expect a lot lately. The Department of Natural Resources hosts a set of virtual meetings about public land in Alpena and other counties starting tonight. DNR is responsible for over 4.5 million acres of public land. Every few years, some of the land is reviewed to see if it meets criteria for the DNR's mission.
It boils down to natural resources protection, public recreation, and resource management that supports local economies. So the land that we're retaining is going to probably fit in one of those categories.
The DNR is currently reviewing land in Alpena County. While many areas are being retained or remaining under the state's care, there are some areas that are marked dispose.
A lot of them don't have public access. So they're landlocked and they don't have good access to begin with. And they came to the state through tax reversion. So it's not like we went out and bought these. They came to us. Now we're looking at possibly replacement lands as being a better fit.
The DNR is not technically disposing of the land, just offering it to local governments by sale and then up for auction to the public.
Those would be offered for sale to local units of government first, and then if there's no interest there, they would be put on the auction block and sold.
These funds are then used by the department to purchase other land that is more beneficial to them. The DNR depends on public comment for their decisions, as local residents may have input the department overlooked. For a full look at the areas being reviewed, we will have a link on our website. The first virtual meeting began at 6 tonight, and tomorrow's will start at 2:30 p.m.
Nice. In health news, how an eye problem can be evidence of a stroke and how reliable is the government's COVID-19 symptom checker. Elise Preston takes a look at some of the day's top health stories.
The CDC's online symptom checker for COVID-19 sometimes fails to pick up serious illness, according to a new study in the British Medical Journal. In simulated cases of severe COVID-19, bacterial pneumonia and sepsis, the checker advised the patient to stay home. The American Heart Association is warning of a stroke that's disguised as an eye problem. In a new scientific statement, the organization says central retinal artery occlusion occurs when blood flow is obstructed to the eye and causes immediate vision loss. The statement goes on to say it's actually a stroke and could be indicative of underlying heart problems. And a new study finds night shift workers are more vulnerable to DNA damage, and their bodies' natural DNA repair mechanisms are not repairing that damage. The research from Washington State University offers insight into why night shift workers have higher cancer risk. Those are some of today's top health stories. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Coming up on WBKB News, Ellie Morrison is next with your 7-day forecast plus the photo of the day. Stay tuned.
Jason Young. He shows us this glorious photo of the sunshine over ice at the shores of Bell Bay, just north of Alpena. Thank you, Jason, for sending us this photo. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you would like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@WBKB11.com.
What a nice photo. I can't wait to see these spring photos in. No more snow. And while it's not going to rain cats and dogs tomorrow, they're still welcome on our show, right, Cherry?
Absolutely.
It's my favorite day of the week. Today's pets are Layla, Bobby, and Stella. Kent Davis has the story.
Meet Layla. She's a 1.5-year-old pit bull mix. This girl still has plenty of puppy energy and needs a lot of physical activity. Layla also needs a lot of training. Her last owner didn't teach her any fundamentals, but what she lacks in discipline, she makes up for in love. Next, we have Bobby Hurley. This 10-month-old kitten is very affectionate. He also just craves attention. I stopped petting him so I could take some notes, and he started meowing immediately. He also loves to chase, so he might make a good mouser. Finally, let's meet Stella. She's a curious and cautious girl. She didn't seem big on chasing the laser pointer today, but she was interested in eating the laser. Stella's a little shy, but give her about 30 minutes of patience and she might just clamber up into your lap. And remember, you can learn more about adoption at HuronHumaneSocietyInc.org.
Staring right into that pointer can't be good for that cat. Sports is coming up next, but first we'll check in with Matt Dazinski for a preview. What's going on tonight, Matt?
Thanks, Tyler. Coming up next in sports, the Big Ten announced their annual awards, and I will let you know who from both Michigan and Michigan State earned those honors. Plus, we have some wrestling for you on this Tuesday evening, and I'll have that preview and much more coming up next in sports.
And welcome back. Bidding is now open to get memorabilia from some of the biggest names in music, and a riveting documentary looks at the start of the COVID crisis in China. Nichelle Medina has those stories and more in Your Eye on Entertainment.
Chaos, pain, and hope. Take a look at ground zero of the worldwide coronavirus pandemic, where it began in Wuhan, China, in the new documentary 76 Days. Shot inside 4 Chinese hospitals, the film shows the city's first lockdown on January 23, 2020, through their reopening in April. It captures healthcare workers and patients struggling to survive. 76 Days is now available on demand and streaming on Paramount Plus. More than 17 million people tuned in for the 2-hour CBS special, Oprah with Meghan and Harry. According to Nielsen, it's the largest primetime audience for any entertainment special this year. The interview was also CBS's most live-streamed event outside of the NFL and Super Bowl Sunday. Oprah with Meghan and Harry is available to watch on the CBS app and CBS.com. Items from some of the biggest names in music, including BTS, are now up for grabs. This year's Grammy Week auction features memorabilia and experiences from Grammy winners and nominees, including a signed guitar from Taylor Swift and handwritten lyrics from Ed Sheeran. Proceeds benefit the Grammy Museum and its music programs. The online auction on Charity Buzz runs through March 23rd. That's Your Eye on Entertainment. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That's all we have for you this evening.
You can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Be sure to catch us back here tonight at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.